everyone, and welcome to Breakthrough with Jeff. This is the place where we live life with absolutely zero limits. Welcome to another session with me and Jeff. Happy Friday, wherever you are. I hope you had an amazing morning, afternoon, evening, and thank you for joining us today. Jeff, good to see you once again.
Good to see you, Mary. Good to see you once again.
You look all suited up today. I see that.
Oh my, today was such a busy day. I had to really look nice.
Amazing. Glad to hear that. Jeff, as always, thank you for making the time and using your platform to share nuggets of wisdom to help us live life with zero limits. And so we really appreciate what you do for all of us. In today's conversation, as I said last week, we are in the month of October and we are talking about love. Last week we talked about the feeling of being unlovable, but then today I want us to talk about the journey to feeling loved. And I think the journey to feeling loved also becomes with a journey of self-awareness. What am I going to stand for? What is my worth? And I think that that's part of the journey, among many other things. And so in today's conversation, Jeff, what I was hoping we could really talk about is how do we stand for what we believe in order to attract and retain the right people in our lives when it comes to love. And I think by identifying what we stand for, it will also help us know that this is not for me. And I think I want to kick off this session really by expounding on that, so that as you talk more about it, you're really able to guide us on this. So I'll give myself as an example. I think one of the things that I really believe for myself is communication, being able to find a partner that I can communicate with, and that in the midst of communication, it's not that someone says, hey, see you in 5 days, we'll talk about that. And I think for me, it's very important to always ensure there's communication, even within the good times and the bad times, because my part of my language, and as you know this, is I'm a very big conversationalist, and so because of that, when I very quickly identify that this is the kind of person who communication is not important to them, they would rather hold on to things and come back to you 10 days later, it's very easy for me to identify this is not for me. And not because that the person is a bad person, that may be their style, but because I'm very aware that that is an integral part of who I am, that I cannot be able to, that is something that I want to align with. Now, I hope that gives you a bit of a perspective of what I mean. And someone else, it's, hey, my faith, I want to align myself with someone of the same faith. So when you realize this person is not for my faith, then you're like, you know what, very quickly, this is not for me. And so that's just some of the examples that I can think through. And so what I was hoping we could discuss today is really knowing what to stand for. I truly believe that the first step in knowing what to stand for starts with, knowing who you are. But let's kick it off to you, Jeff. How do people identify what is that first place where people should start when you're thinking, I'm thinking about being in a relationship, I'm thinking about finding the kind of love that I've been craving for, that I've been visualizing, and how do I know what to stand for and what not to just flow with?
Yeah, well, this is really brilliant topic and brilliant questions that you're asking, Mary. The thing is, when we get into relationships, some of us, because of our need for that relationship to work, we sort of, it becomes very easy for us to lose our values, what we treasured before the relationship, because we feel we need to be in this relationship. And it's only after you get into the relationship, now you remember you've actually lost yourself. Or some of us, we get even into the marriage and realize we've gotten the marriage, we've gotten the relationship, but we've lost ourselves. And that sense of loss, that sense of not being yourself really brings about unhappiness. And so it's not worth for you to lose yourself and lose your values. That's something you want to defend. And the reason it's easy for people to just lose themselves to please someone and get into a relationship is because we are coming from a place of limitation. We think this is the last guy. We think, oh, the universe will never give me this opportunity again. I'll never meet someone like this again, which is not true. The universe is abundant. And if we work our minds in a way that we believe that, we live in an abundant universe. And I don't really have to have someone for me to be fulfilled. I want to have someone, but I don't have to have someone, because that need to have someone is what intensifies our being needy, and puts us in a position where we can actually play down our values so that we can get our relationship. So honoring yourself, primarily putting that relationship with yourself first, because if you're saying no to your values, to things that are very important to you, you're saying no to yourself, and then saying yes to someone else. And remember, there's no one who can love you more than you love yourself. People love us to the level we are loving ourselves. So if you're giving away your values to fall in love with this person or to have this person, they will sort of just sense that, and they will sense that vibe, and they will sort of treat you the same way. We are coming from that perspective of I am complete, I am enough, and I'm not coming to this relationship because I am so needy, and I'm not ready to lose myself because of anyone. There's no one, no matter how good they are, on this planet that you can lose yourself for in order for you to be happy. It doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. So it's work on your relationship with yourself first. Honor that first. And people that honor their relationship with themselves, they have very beautiful relationship with other people. They have very beautiful, intimate relationship because they are settled in themselves. They're in a place of a grounded certainty.
Jeff, one thing I wanna touch on, and not actually one. I feel like in everything that you've said, I probably have three different questions that I can think of from that. But you've said, first start with honoring the relationship with yourself, find that, and then know your values and stand by that. But then let's talk about values, because I think my goal for this session is for people to identify, I've not been standing for something. How do I start the process, right? So let's start with the first place. We've talked about relationship. I do know we have other videos that talked about, building that relationship with yourself, feeling complete. But then the next step is identifying your values. Say, for example, someone has just been flowing. They've never really thought about their values. How does anyone start thinking about what are my values? What's that step? What should they do? Should they sit down with a pen and paper? Let's help the audience be able to think through, this is how I identify my values, so that now I even have this paper that I can go through. So how do we do that?
That would be a good idea, to get a pen and a paper right now as we go through the process, because you see, values are driven by purpose. They come from my mission in life, what I want to really be about. And so the first thing is to discover your purpose, and then from your purpose you have values, you have goals, you have mission. Okay, so all this is coming from your purpose. So let me give you an example. Let's say my purpose in life is to enjoy life and to the max. So when I say that's my purpose in life, it could be as general as that. I'm here to enjoy life to the max. Okay, how does that look like in my intimate relationship? So if that's my purpose in my intimate relationship, I wouldn't be with someone that stops me from enjoying life to the max. I will not. And so when I see that, so I'll value my freedom. So the value there will be freedom. So I value freedom because my purpose is to enjoy life to the max. So if I meet this person that holds me back every time they are asking me, where are you, what are you doing, with who, how, high, low, west, no, I'll just say, no, please, sister, God bless you. I love you, but the Lord loves you more.
I like that, Jennifer. And I think that's a great way. I think what you just said here, and I think anyone can take it, is to identify your values, think, connect it with your purpose. And it's as simple as
Yes,
that. It's as simple as
exactly,
that. Okay.
exactly.
And so let's talk about this, right? What is the difference between, because we know in relationships we have the need of, there's a need to compromise, Jeff, right? And
Yes,
it's inevitable. These are two different people who are coming together, trying to share love, but there's an essence of
yes,
compromise. Now we've talked about values, and we're trying to talk about stand for your values, but then on the other end, relationships have compromise. What is the difference between betraying yourself and
yes,
compromising?
yeah.
And just to give you more color in this
Hmm.
is betraying yourself when you go against your values, or can you compromise your values? Like, can we help people understand this is what you should stand for, that if you do so you'll be betraying yourself, and this is what compromise means, so that they can always know, am I betraying myself? Should I compromise in this area?
No, Mary, you should have non-negotiables that have
Hmm.
no seasons. Like
I like that.
there's no season I'll ever compromise, freedom. There's no season. There's no time and there's
You're like,
no place.
winter, summer, autumn, nothing.
Yes.
Yeah, freedom
Yes.
is
So you have to have your own like three non-negotiables, and this is what I'm working towards. And when you have someone close to you that loves you, means they understand you that way. They understand your values. And this is how two people live together, when they understand each other and they understand each other's values. And they know that, okay, he values this, she values this. Now, where there is conflict, that is where you can have a conversation if you still love the person. But you see, when you're not yet in the relationship, you can make the decision of getting someone that you have as close values as possible, so that the conflicts are not there. The thing is, we close our eyes and we say love is blind. So we close our
Uh-huh.
eyes to our values, and as long as I get this person, and then you get there and you realize, no, here, please, I can't even breathe. And
Yes.
you see true colors, especially when someone gets into the box, when both of
Yeah,
you are
that
in
is
the
true.
box now.
Exactly. And you're like, oh, where do I go to? So I really wanna I really
Yeah,
wanna hit on that and summarize that as we continue to move along.
yeah,
And really, what you've just said right now is to be able to really know your non-negotiables. So even as you go into something, I think I do this as a single person. I think I'm very quick to understand what is the person's non-negotiable and what is my non-negotiable, and can I share that so that we can determine that compatibility and alignment sooner
yeah,
rather than later. And I
yes.
think that's what you're really saying. You're really saying, know your non-negotiables. When you see someone, this is non-negotiable and they're not for you, then you clearly, even before getting into that box, you just know
Yes.
this is not for me.
Exactly, exactly. Because we treat each other like you don't deserve to have those non negotiables. And someone that comes to take away your non negotiables, your values, your purpose, what really are they taking away? It's your life.
Yeah.
It's your life. That's something not to play with. And so be fearless in communicating your non-negotiables, and
Be
don't
fearless.
fear that you're going to lose them, because if you're afraid that you're going to lose them, let me guarantee you are going to lose them. The law of attraction will work for you and you will lose them. Have no fear. If they go, let them go. And if you tell someone your non-negotiables, they think over it and make the decision to be with you, stick to your non-negotiables. Even when you're in the relationship, you stick to your non-negotiables. And you also want to honor their non-negotiables and ask yourself, can I really honor this? Is this someone that I can live my life freely and live my mission and be supported, and feel like I am myself, or am I losing myself? Because I think in many relationships, people are losing themselves. You used to know someone as a happy person, wait until they get married. It's like
Yeah.
happiness, phew,
It
goes through the
disappears. I know. You're like,
yeah, and you look
what just
like
happened to you?
yeah,
Let's
got
talk
married.
about let's talk about hope. We've talked
Yeah.
about non-negotiables. We've talked about our values. We've talked about Papa starting from that. But let's talk about hope, Jeff.
Mhm.
Let's be realistic. Personally, as a Christian,
Yeah.
I do believe that things happen at the right time. But then there's also a verse in the Bible about Job where you could see that he's
Mhm.
gone through suffering for a long while, and we almost think that he shouldn't be going through that. So here you
Mhm.
are. You've been waiting for a long while. You've been going through seasons of feeling like you are alone. Not I would
Mhm.
necessarily wouldn't say loneliness, but you can look at your life and
Yes.
think, I wish I had a partner to share this, to help me out in this. And you've gone through this point where, you know what, you're about to lose hope. You're losing hope. So someone comes in and they say, I call them sweet nothings. And, your mind now becomes like, it'll never get better than this. How do we get people to remain hopeful? And in terms of what is the mental work that they need to do, because they need to stay in that feeling. And you've talked about it, like it's law of manifestation. There's abundance. We feel like, oh my gosh, I need to take this one because I don't know if the next one's gonna come. But I think people do that because in their minds there are these stories that they've developed because they've waited for a season. And I look at the Bible and I'm like, I don't know how Job did it, because I would be like, enough. But how can we help people go through that emotion of waiting or standing by their values without losing hope? And I don't know if there is anything that you can share with that from that perspective.
Yes, definitely. I do, Mary. And this is to redefine waiting.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Nice. I didn't
yeah,
see that
because I think,
coming.
yeah,
Let's talk about
I,
that.
I think that that is where we get it wrong, because people think waiting is this anxiously, waiting and holding your life, in a way that I can't wait to get into that relationship. I can't wait so I can be happy. You see, for me, the way I look at waiting, and when you talk about manifesting your relationship, manifesting your ideal relationship, waiting is the gap of faith and gratitude. It's actually not even hope, it's faith. Because faith is different from hope. Faith is knowing with certainty that you will get your blessing. You will get,
Ooh.
you're sure with certainty. And by the way, when you know with certainty you get your blessing, you don't need even encouragement, you don't need hope, you need gratitude. You begin to be grateful. You say, thank you that I know my right guy right now is coming my way. Thank you that I know they are preparing, just like I'm preparing myself. They are getting ready. Thank you that I know they can connect with me spiritually, energetically right now. Step into the place of gratitude, because you lengthen the gap, the waiting gap,
Mhm.
when you just wait, because the brain doesn't know how to have gaps. And so fill
Mhm.
that gap with, number one, faith, number
Mhm.
two, gratitude.
Mhm.
Like if you really believe it, if you have faith that you deserve it, then act like you already have it.
Speak, act, prepare. I think these are the three
Yes,
mantras I normally
yes,
have. Speak, act,
yes.
prepare, as though it is.
As though as it is, and you step into that gap, so someone will not even know you're a single person, because
Yeah.
of the way you are so grateful and your life is so peaceful. Is a space we call flow. Your life is flowing. You're not just waiting, you're not waiting to live, you are living. If you
Yes.
die single, you'll have lived a full
Lived.
life.
True, 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 true.
You understand,
True.
because
Yep.
some of us, we are in this mindset of either we freeze, meaning I don't know what will happen, I just freeze and wait for whatever, or we flee, is run away from any relationship and I don't want it, or we fight, talk about how negatively about how relationships are bad, or how men are bad, or how women are bad. But the right place to be is flow. And flow
Mhm.
means I am not fighting anything. I am forgiven. Flow, for you to get to flow, you have to forgive. For you to you have to get into a place where you're not carrying your past relationship with yourself and making decision on your ideal relationship guided by your past relationship. So you have to forgive. and after you that means you're free. And so that's the space of waiting, and that's how we redefine waiting, make it a sense of a rich point where you're so rich and you're so grateful. It's not a space where they say, oh, this space, I wasted years, wasted years, 5 wasted years. Because if you're just waiting for the breakthrough to come, when the guy comes or when the lady comes, you have wasted years. No, enjoy this life. Live it to the max. And for you to do that, be grateful.
Yeah, I love that. The last question, as we summarize, knowing what to stand for, right? We have someone, and I speak this in knowledge. We have someone who will watch this, right? And they realize that today, right now, they're in a relationship where they know they are not standing for their values. They know that they are betraying themselves. They identify their values from their purpose and they see that they are completely in the wrong direction. What steps should they take?
Run for your life.
Run.
Don't walk. Run. Run for your life. Run for your life.
Simply put.
Run for your life, because let me tell you, we've not lived long enough to decide how our future is going to be. But if I'm not happy right now, where I am right now, the best thing is to serve myself, to move to a place of happiness. Before you get in that space where you're actually married to someone, you've done your church covenant with someone, and now you're saying you're unhappy and you're making the decision to come out. No. And I tell you, there's nothing you're missing for being single. Single is a blessing. So let go of that relationship, and any relationship that is not serving you, your purpose, and your values. Let it go. And there are some of us, by the way, Mary, that will not let go because they fear to hurt the other person. In fact, I know there are people, they have come to a place, where they actually are clear that they are not in the right relationship. The relationship is not really serving their purpose. It's not serving their needs, and they know that. So what do? Because they fear hurting other people, they stay there. Let me tell you, your fear hurting the other person is already hurting them.
Exactly.
Because you're already hurting them.
You're not your authentic self.
Yes, exactly. You're not your authentic self, and you're holding them in a place where maybe if you free them, they would find their own true love.
Exactly.
And so honor yourself. Live authentically. This world will reward you. And as you trust, live by faith. Enjoy this life. If you're single, enjoy this life. If you're married, and if you're married and it's not working, I want to tell you, you can make it work. And as long as you're not happy, nothing else is worth living for.
Oh my goodness.
It begins with you being happy.
It begins with that. You know what, Jeff? I really want to recap this. I think you've really summarized that whole concept of knowing where to start. So I just want to take the key points from the beginning, right? The first step in really knowing what to stand for is a relationship itself. And from your relationship with yourself, then the next step is identifying your purpose. Because if you're able to connect your purpose, you can come up with your values. Now, your values are what you should hold on to. These are what you should always go in as your non-negotiables. They stick with you all seasons, every day, every time, everywhere. And really starting off the conversations by really understanding what are their non-negotiables? What are your non-negotiables? Can you guys be able to serve each other in the relationship? Can you be able to honor their non-negotiables as well? And then once you're able to identify that, for those who are waiting, who feel like, I'm just going to be in anything, redefine what that waiting period means. Redefine that. And by redefining that, you're able to walk in a place of faith and gratitude, because if you can redefine it that way, then you're able to make the best of where you are because you've redefined that. And for those who are in a situationship or relationship where you clearly know this is not in line, it's betraying who I am, it's betraying my values, as Jeff put it, without just signals, without words, we're just gonna say run, run, and honor yourself, and I think Jeff, that summarizes it. That summarizes it for us today.
That's right, Mary. That's right. Thank you so much.
Amazing. Thank you so much. And thank you for really giving us a chance to really redefine what we consider as love. And as we walk through this month and we talk a lot of conversations around love, thank you for sharing with us. And we look forward to similar discussions as we continue through the month.
Definitely. And maybe just for the person listening, share this video with as many people as possible. Let people gather around the fire of love this month.
Exactly.
Make sure if you love someone, make sure they have actually subscribed and clicked on the bell notification, because you don't want them to miss anything. We'll be coming back and we'll be on fire.
Amazing, Jeff. Okay, I will say in Swahili, tumeshukuru, asante sana. Thank you for your nuggets of wisdom.